Good afternoon. It is an honor to stand before you today and receive the Radiant Rising Star Award as alumna honoree and a daughter of Spelman College, an institution that has nurtured generations of Black women who have shaped history with brilliance and resolve. To the 2025 Sisters Awards Planning Committee and the Los Angeles chapter of the National Alumni Association of Spelman College, thank you for this recognition. To every professor who challenged me and every sister who held me up, I am forever grateful. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the unwavering love of my parents, hi Mom, the guidance of my mentors, and the steadfast support of my family and friends. I share this honor with all of you. And while I stand here in celebration, I also stand here in reflection, because to be recognized as a radiant rising star is to acknowledge both the light and the night sky that it inhabits, the triumphs and the trials that shape us, and the responsibility that comes in rising in a time such as this. One that demands not just presence, but purpose. People often ask me, why did you choose Spelman? Like being the #1 HBCU for 18 years in a row isn't enough. Well, my answer involves a late night phone call from the renowned Tracy Blackwell, who delivered one of the best pitches Hollywood has never heard. That night, she sold me on an opportunity to matriculate with some of the brightest minds in orbit and enter into community with Black women who embody the spirit of sisterhood, an opportunity I'd never be afforded in the same way again. It is a pitch I myself have now remixed and given to countless Spelman sisters. And if we're being honest, the idea of walking through campus like I was an extra on A Different World didn't hurt. Without a shadow of a doubt, I made the right decision. At Spelman, I shaped my artistic voice studying African American narratives in cinema and television, learning how storytelling could be wielded as both a mirror and a megaphone. It was there that I came to understand that stories are more than an art form. They are a record of who we are, a reflection of our struggles, a testament to our survival. This understanding has shaped every space I have entered since, whether on screen, behind the camera, or in the places where policy and culture collide. And Spelman's vigor wasn't confined to just the classroom. Our curriculum was also social, communal, and deeply embedded in the radical act of showing up for one another. Because learning wasn't just about what we studied, but about how we engaged, how we carried history forward, honored its lessons, and recognized our place within it. It was there that I learned to know yourself, you must be anchored in your roots, grounded in the history of those who came before you. As Angela Davis reminds us, our histories never unfold in isolation. We cannot truly tell what we consider to be our own histories without knowing the other stories. And often we discover that those stories are actually our own. With that knowledge comes great responsibility. To be a Spelman woman is to stand on the shoulders of giants, of foremothers who defied the odds, built movements, and made space where none was given, who with far fewer resources paved the way for the freedoms we cling to today. The roots I planted in Spelman soil on my quest to build a just future were watered in the spirit of these women. It was there that I learned that to be a warrior for justice, one must also be a student of humanity. That liberation and empathy are not contradictions but necessary partners, for our collective freedom is bound up in one another. That compassion is a practice cultivated by curiosity. That the world will try to force us into binaries, but it is our charge to hold space for complexity and nuance, to build bridges instead of silos, and forge bonds instead of fractures. We live in a time of deep disconnection, an era that former U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy declared as an epidemic of loneliness. And this condition manifests in our social structures, our politics, and in the erosion of trust and community. It breeds greed and the glorification of the individual over the collective. It frays the very fabric that holds us together. But if separation is the disease, then what I encountered at Spelman is the antidote, because it is impossible to move through that space without understanding that your success is tied to the success of others. We are not meant to exist in isolation. As Gwendolyn Brooks proclaims, we are each other's harvest, we are each other's business, and we are each other's magnitude and bond. Our lives, our histories, and our futures are inextricably linked. We are now bearing witness to a socio-political climate where algorithms primed for sowing division are rewarded with social currency, where dehumanization masquerades as righteousness, where moral clarity is in decline. There comes a time when every generation must define itself, and today, the soul of my generation hangs in the balance. Times such as these require resilience, not just the will to survive, but the determination to thrive, because resilience is the test of a leader. Leaders reject the cynicism that tells us that progress is impossible. Leaders stand firm in the moments that demand courage. Leaders choose humanity even when the world demands that they harden, even when the path is lonely and the cost is high, even when the easiest choice is to shrink and dim. And if you've ever encountered a Spelman woman, you know we do not wait for permission to shine. I found myself in recent days clinging to the words of Bertolt Brecht, familiar with the notion of nightfall, who pondered, "In the dark times will there also be singing?" And his answer, the one that defines the very essence of my drive today: yes, there will also be singing about the dark times. And when history looks back on moments like these, moments when the night feels unrelenting, I aim to be one of the artists who will bear witness, who will ensure that we are not erased, who will remind us that even in hardship, there is still song. So today, I humbly accept the honor of being this year's Radiant Rising Star, not just as a reflection of the milestones I've reached in my first 25 years, but as a call to the work that still lies ahead. Here's to my undaunted Spelman sisters, past, present, and future. May we always stay rooted in who we are, resilient in the face of adversity, and radiant in every room we enter. Thank you.